What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Rich State Profit, and I'm back at another video. In this video, I'm gonna be going over the trades I had today. Today was a crazy day. I took 3 trades. 2 of them was a loser, 1 of them was a winner, and I ended up with a little bit of profit. But yo, markets was cooking me at the beginning. They were cooking me bad. I'm finna get into this video, but before we do, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button for more content like this. Give me a chart video today, man. Just kind of going over the trades I took, and like, this is pretty much me like transforming my attitude when it comes to trading, because I literally lost 2 times back to back in a row, risking $400-$300. I was cutting my losses early, even though I was risking 400. So technically I lost 600 on both accounts, right? So I was down 1,200 for the day. That shit, like, it left me sick. I'm not gonna, it left me sick a little bit. But I just wanted to really get an understanding. I wanted to get a grip of what price was doing today. But you know, this is stuff that I reviewed and I understood it, right? So I'm gonna try to break down what I was saying. I wanted to get this video done right after the trade was over, but I had to go hit the gym, do some other things, so my brain kind of got a little warped. But I'm gonna just do what I do with my little markups and whatnot. So let's see. So for y'all that don't know my strategy, usually when I come into the markets, I always come and find the low of the day and the high of the day. Today is the 28th. The low of the day was here. This was before market open, by the way. I know the low of the day is here, but when I was looking for an entry, that was not the low of the day yet. High of the day was here I was at 3, right? So boom, we got the high today, a low today. That's the first thing I do. Now I just start marking up levels, right? We were down here when I was looking, so to be quite honest with you, I mean, even if we zoom out though, this ain't happened yet. Let's see. I did have a line here. Had a line there because I was looking, this is how I was looking at price. Okay, let's take it back. Let's take it back a little bit. So boom, price, the week started with a crazy drop, right? Crazy drop. All right, and it left this gap here in the market. This gap is eventually going to get tapped. There's no way. Price always finds a way to come clear it, right? And I call this gap of doom. Gap of doom, price is going to always hit it. So before Tuesday today even came around, we were over here and we just see this big old drop, right? For some reason, I was trying to like put in my brain that maybe price wants to break structure, because it ran this low. It ran this low here. I don't want to use the arrow. That's garbage. Bad, y'all. It ran this low. Then it ran this low. Then it ran like this low. Yeah, it ran that low, but it didn't run this one. So it didn't fully break structure all the way. All it was doing was going to smack out all the liquidity that was being generated. So boom. Shout out to Justin Werland. I've been watching his videos on market structure. So this right here is pretty much price generating liquidity, and all this big ass move was pretty much smacking it, pretty much going to eat it, going to grab the liquidity, right? So that's what it did. It went through, grabbed all these equal lows here, ran this low here, grabbed a couple of equal lows there, but it didn't break through this one. And so that's why, you know, my brain got confused, and I'm just like, is it breaking structure? Well, let's see. So then I blew a fib, right? I blew a fib here. And Monday, we look at Monday, what happened yesterday. Price came down. This is where the fib was drawn. Price came up and pretty much hit this 50% line here. On top of that, I had a 4-hour fair value gap drawn out. So fair value gap, 3 continuous candles. We look for the weakest candle, you know, in between, which is this one right here. So this is the weakest one because out of these 3 candles, this one has the gap in it, right? And the gap is the first candle bottom wick to the 3rd candle top wick. So this is pretty much the fair value gap that I seen on the 4-hour. I know y'all got to just bear with me. I might be saying a lot, but just bear with me. So boom, that's the 4-hour gap from yesterday. Price came up, rejected it, fell, boom, got a nice sell, cool, boom, right? So I'm like, is price gonna keep going down to continue to break this low to go reach this 25? But I got stuck in that bearish momentum. So when we came in today, I was still thinking bearish a little bit, but I did take a buy entry based off of something that I seen today. I try to forget the days that happened before, but for an overall bias, I want to make sure I know what I'm doing. So when we came into the market today, Tuesday, I seen that price had rejected this area again at the high of the day, and we were down here around the low of the day, which is around this area. So price was at the low of the day. So for my rules, I don't sell at the low of the day. So I was looking for buys around here. Okay, this is where we took our first L. So boom, I think I was down on the 5-minute. And before I get to that, there's also a 1-hour fair value gap that I had marked up as well, which is here. Candle 1, candle 2, candle 3, 3 consecutive candles. Weak area here with a gap between the first candle wick and the 3rd candle wick. First candle wick, 3rd candle wick. I want y'all to understand me here. So boom. That is another fair value gap. So we got a 1-hour fair value gap inside of a 4-hour fair value gap. So I'm really thinking things are going to be bearish. But guess what Dre keeps forgetting about? That. So I'm zoomed in here, but I keep forgetting about that. So it's like I'm thinking about buys, I'm thinking about sells. I'm starting to get a little confused. I'm keeping it honest with you guys. So boom. But this is like the gap is the end all be all. It's going to come back and get this. It's going to come back and get this. I don't care what nobody. It's going to come back and get this. It might not happen. Like it didn't happen yesterday like I thought it was, but I noticed that 4-hour fair value gap and I got sales. So today I'm like, well, what is it going to do? Okay. Low of the day, we're looking at where we're going to get an entry. We got A15 here. I think I was looking for buys around this area. And I'm trying to think. Well, the first trade I took was like, it wasn't a good entry at all. Like it just wasn't. I'm thinking about getting an entry off a 5-minute order block, which is so weak. It's so weak, right? Trade number one. I'm thinking that since we're at the low of the day, right? We're at the low of the day. Price is gonna fly up at least to this 4-hour fair value gap, or this 1-hour. So I was going in trying to look for a buy opportunity at the low of the day. What did price do? Price opened up. I got an entry. I didn't wait for a confirmation of a rejection of a candle. Price never really rejected this area, y'all. When price opened, price shot straight through this 5-minute order block. But I was in fear. I didn't want to miss out of a trade. Am I going to get an entry or am I going to watch it reject? Because price came through this order block and then started pushing back up, and I got an entry as it was pushing back up. But when it comes to my order block entries, I like getting the order block entry. Price comes down, taps it, fizzles a little bit, and then takes off. That's a rejection. Me, I was just so ready to get in the trade. Price came through, then it started leaving. I was like, am I finna miss out? Buy. Then, pale, boom, 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 boom. I get stopped out. I got stopped out like right here, right? So boom, I'm like, damn, I just took a loss. It's going down. Okay, maybe price wants to go bearish then. Maybe price wants to, go reach those levels I drew up from the previous day because it rejected twice off that 4-hour fair value gap. And that's where I took loss number 2. See, and this is what happens when you take a loss. Sometimes you just don't stick to your bias anymore. And that's what happened with me. I took a loss and I didn't stick to my bias. So then I started looking for sales, right? I was trying to see where I can capitalize off of getting a sale. And so I just started marking up all type of things. Like, I think I waited for a price to try to come back to a reversal or an inverse order block or a breaker block. You know what I'm saying? I'm just looking for random stuff to get a sale because price wants to go down. And I started marking up. I marked up this level as if price wanted to run this low here. Right? So I'm like, all right, boom. Now trade number 2, we're gonna get a sale. And I'm trying to remember because it couldn't have been off of this breaker. Oh, that's right. I tried to draw a 5-minute fair value gap. So look, this is crazy, y'all. Candle 1, candle 2, candle 3. Weak point. Fair value gap here, 5-minute here. Boom. Fair value gap. So I'm waiting for price to reject it. Price candle 1, candle 2, candle 3, fair value gap here. Candle 4, candle 5. Is candle 5 going to come here and reject it? Oh, if it does, I'm going to smack it. Boom. 1 and 2. I'm literally running this back just laughing at myself like, bro, what the hell are you doing? Okay, boom. Trade number 2. Boom, lost. At this point, I'm like, I knew it was buys. I knew it was buys, bro. Like, damn. I was pissed. All right, boom. Let's back out of that. That's trade number 2. So y'all see I'm up for the day. Let's go into it. I literally took 2 losing trades, right? That's literally what I'm speaking on. 33 win percentage, cool. This is just a daily. This ain't nothing. I took 1 trade in that. 1 trade ate all those 2 losses I took. So I took 2 losses back to back, risking 400, then risking 300. So the fact that I only lost 578, I was cutting my losses early. I'm like, bro, there's no way. There's no way. Now here, that's what I want y'all to see here. Y'all can also see like the ratio of the trade that I took. Even though I took these losses, I did take a nice win of $734, only doing 3 contracts. If I would have did more contracts, this probably would have been about $1,000 a day. But since I lost, I'm taking lower risk, right? So I took a lower risk because I was down. I was literally down. I already took my 2 L's. I was really supposed to be done. I really was supposed to be done. According to my trading plan, 2 L's, get out the market. But I was calm, and I'm just like, there's no way, because I know the game that price was trying to play. I shouldn't have took this 3rd trade, but I literally got all my wins back. You know what I'm saying? So quite literally, I'm trying to think. Well, yeah, this is the worst trade. I took a $300 loss, and I took another loss. And I ended up taking that 3rd trade, which was my winner. And pretty much, I mean, it's showing the orders, honestly. So it did what it was supposed to do. It's showing all the information I needed. So boom. At this point, I'm sitting here to myself, like, I'm pretty pissed. I ain't gonna lie. I'm sitting here like, I'm cussing and stuff, but I'm not really mad. I'm just kind of like, bro, what type of games are they playing with me right now? What games are they playing with me right now? So then when price came back up, this resembled a pattern that I've seen before, where price will sometimes knock out some lows and then shoot back up. And so it's just like a liquidity sweep. It's just pretty much doing the same thing here. It's doing the same thing here that it did on a higher time frame, which is price knocking out all those lows to then shoot back up to that gap, right? And then you got the same thing here. So we have a line here. I think I drew it out here. I mean, that was some liquidity there, right? That's 5 minute though. I'm just knocking off lows, honestly. So low, low, low. Price knocked off so many different lows on the smaller time frame. So this candle here, right? This 1 hour candle was like, this is super bullish movement in a sense, right? It swept these lows, then wicked it, and then started shooting up. Price was going back up now. So now I'm just like, okay, I knew you wanted buys, because that was my first initial thought coming into the market. But then they psyched me out with this fall, and then the fact that price was rejecting the 4 hour fair value gap. This is where things took a turn for the better. We got this 1 hour fair value gap that has not been touched yet, so price inevitably has to fill this 1 hour fair value gap, because that's the strongest fair value gap time frame on the NASDAQ. So boom, I seen this up here, we're down here, and I'm just watching price kind of fly up, and I'm like, the way price is moving today, if I don't get an entry, it's gonna leave without me. So I banked in, and I had one last trade left. It was about 9 o'clock, I believe, when this candle opened. Yes, this candle opened, right? I'm looking at the 200 EMA on the 5-minute. I'm looking at two options here. Either I get a final entry on this breaker that was here, or I get in at the 200 EMA, right? There's a breaker on the 5-minute, 15-minute, it lined up too, right? That 5-minute lined up with this 15-minute breaker block as well. So I'm just looking for opportunity for price to come here, and it didn't, right? It didn't. But I seen that price broke through the 200 EMA and rejected the 200 EMA. So then I brought out my risk calculator. If I'm risking 50 points right here, well, I know if price does want to keep going down and it goes through this entire breaker block, I can cut my losses early. I won't take that much, and I'll technically have a pretty much 0 and 3. But I'm like, no, price has literally did the sweep. We're now in the upwards move. Price wants to go up. When it comes close to this 200 EMA or this 5-minute / 15-minute breaker block we're in, and that's what we did. Where was my target? Well, my target wasn't going to be this 4-hour fair value gap, even though that 4-hour fair value gap was enough to give me a 2-to-1. We said scrap that. Let's go to the 1-hour fair value gap that hasn't been touched yet. That is what brought me my trade that took out both of my L's today, resulting in a $750 trade on pretty much 2 accounts for a total of $1,500 to blast out my $1,200 loss. So we're up $300 for the day. And I'm just like, well, damn, if I could have caught at least the opportunity here, because there was an opportunity here as well, but I'll tell y'all about that after this trade. But I'll go ahead and mark it up for y'all. Price did the sweep of these, and it hit the 15-minute order block down here. Perfect rejection, by the way. I seen one of my mentor caught this move right here. I'm not in her private group anymore, but I always look at her trades. I study her trades after, right? But imagine if I would have caught this down here, right? Putting this stop loss at 50 points below these lows here, behind these equal lows, putting the stop loss below this equal low with the rejection here. Beautiful trade. We're talking a 5-to-1, right? 5-to-1. That's beautiful. That's beautiful, but I'm happy with 150 points. That's more than enough for me to get the 3-to-1, 2-to-1. But yes, that is why price ended up going the other way. So I knew price was bullish. But back to my point, with the fair value gap, with my TP, I just needed it to touch this 1-hour fair value gap. That was more than enough. And we had the stops here at 50 points. So we had a 2.57 risk to reward ratio, which I think is what we've seen here. 2.54 win to loss ratio on that trade. Beautiful, beautiful trade. I didn't make that much money today, but I also saved myself from having a big losing day, which technically if I lose 2 trades, that's 100 points essentially. That's a big loss for me. And so I pretty much just cleared that all out. And yeah, I had take profit going to the 1-hour fair value gap, and it worked out perfectly. And what I noticed about the fair value gaps, I could have at least got it to a 1-to-3, because with the NASDAQ, the fair value gaps, they actually get filled before they reject. So you see how price literally went through this whole entire fair value gap, and then it rejected, and then, you know, a little bit of consolidation before continuing up off of a 30-minute breaker block, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, there's a 30-minute breaker block here. Price rejected that about twice. Doesn't line up the best on this one. I probably wouldn't have took this, but for a continuation, that was your dead last chance, right? So boom, beautiful trade. I just wanted to come on here and show y'all what I went through today on Tuesday. 1 day, 3 trades. I've never really taken 3 trades. I would have been done after the 2, but what I was seeing from market, price was literally giving me every indicator that we're about to go up, push through to go for this big old giant gap up here. Also matching up some of these 200 EMAs on the higher time frame. And yeah, price had more work to do. We took advantage of it, we capitalized on it, and we got us a nice fat win. It wasn't a big win. I'm not really up too much this week, but these are the things that are going to turn my trading around and understanding where I went wrong today, which was pretty much switching my bias after a liquidity sweep just because price was at the low of the day. We target high today, and that's another reason. Like, a lot of things was just adding up for the buys, right? The high of the day lined up with the previous high of the day, which was here, right? The previous high of the day with the high of the day lined up with another line for me to take. So it was just so much going on. Like, it was so much. I'm looking at this like prices right here. We got fair value gaps, and we have high of the day. We got liquidity resting with equal highs from the previous day. I'm going for buys. I seen the opportunity. I took the opportunity. We won. It's good to note. And I should have just stuck with my buys from the get-go. But sometimes the market will give you these liquidity sweeps, and it literally threw me off for a loop. The market has a nice way of moving and manipulating your brain. But if you could just take the loss and immediately understand why, you'll hop back in and you can make your money back. But the goal is to not really take a loss. But I was fine with breaking even today. As this price was up, I was at break even, so then I moved my stop loss to break even. And if it would have came back to break even, I pretty much would have ended the day with still 2 big losses because yeah, I had lost twice, not once. Now if I would have lost once, we would have been up pretty heavy. What's the word I was trying to say? Handsomely. We'll be up handsomely. But since we took 2 losses, I just made the money back, and I made a nice little 150 on top, plus 2 times 2 accounts. I made a little 300 on top, not bad. So from losing 1,200 to being up 300, I'm grateful. I like today just because I was able to learn, and I understand how to use these fair value gaps more, and how to just pretty much throw a whole bunch of stuff together that creates a solid bias, a solid trade. And yeah, man, I don't like trading. I don't like buying. I don't like buying at the high today, and I don't like selling at the low today. So for me, looking for buys so early on, when price wanted to come sweep some more lows before hitting this 15-minute order block, you know, it is what it is, right? Because price is doing a lot of consolidation here. There was no solid 15-minute order block to go off of. And yeah, I don't want to talk y'all heads up, man. I just wanted y'all to see that. I wanted y'all to understand the trades I took today. And yeah, man, that is pretty much how today went. But the market has a funny way of moving. It will chop you up. It will cook you up. But if you stay solid and if you have a strong mind, you won't give up and you will prevail. And that's what today taught me. So I'm glad that happened. Hopefully you can learn from this. Drop down in the comments down below if that made sense to you. Yeah, man, this is just a video. I'm finally going to be uploading a video the same day of I take a trade, not y'all seeing this days after. I got some more videos lined up for y'all to see. So yeah, man, I appreciate y'all tapping into this video. Like, comment, share, subscribe, man. And as I always say, keep God first, keep grinding and growing. And until next time, peace.